Hello and welcome to another episode of your best program ever, Virtuous Woman. And as usual, there's always something exciting. You never know what you're going to expect on this program. But believe me, we got an amazing, exciting, uplifting episode for you. So don't go away because we're going to be right back. We'll see you shortly.
Coming up on Virtuous Woman.
Steel pan, it sounds like it was kind of stumbled upon by accident, is it?
To some degree, yeah, because the drum itself was more used for a percussive sound. It progressed into a melodic sound a little bit later on.
If I can just show this, because it's quite interesting what's going on inside here. More than us to just be talking about it, I need to show this. Hello and welcome back to Virtuous Woman. And as usual, I know I nearly say it every week, but I'm not going to say it this week. But believe me, you are going to be truly blessed. Okay, I have to say it. I'm excited as usual because I just love the program. You know, today's episode, we are talking about steel pans. And if you don't know what a steel pan is, believe me, by the end of this program, you certainly will. And today we have Shareen, who is with us, and she is going to really educate us all about the steel pan, because truly I don't know much about steel pan myself, but I know by the end of this program today I'm going to know all I need to know. But before we move on to the main part of the program, we always read from our Virtuous Woman scripture, which is Proverbs 31, which truly gives us the insight of who that virtuous woman is. And we are reading today, as I said earlier, from Proverbs 31, and it's verse 31. And it reads, and we're reading from the New International Version. And it is, honor her for all her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. And truly this program will really, really let you know how awesome a woman's hands can be. Because as you know, Shareen, playing those steel pans and playing that instrument, you can make such sweet music.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no doubt about it that people can praise in the midst of that music.
Amen.
And at the same time, you know, that gift that God has given you, who couldn't praise? Who couldn't praise
Amen.
you? I'm so excited about you. You are absolutely awesome. You know, you look great. You're a mother of 2 children. You know, more importantly, you are a woman of God.
Amen.
And I love that about you. You know, you have been a Christian for 5 years. You manage a steel pan agency as well as a charity. And, you know, and you got lots of support from public and trust funders as well, which is absolutely awesome, because it's sometimes quite difficult to tap into those funding and stuff. So, you know, well done to you on that as well. And I know what hard work that is as well, especially when you're running an agency, mother. So you are definitely that virtuous woman. Anyway, but Shareen, as I said, we're here today. We're going to understand a little bit more about the steel pan, and I know you're going to educate us. I mean, first of all, what is a steel pan? What is it? What is it?
Steel pan, well, it's an instrument like any other, piano, guitar. But what is unique about the steel pan, it's the newest instrument in the world. Can play any kind of music.
Wow.
National instrument of Trinidad and Tobago.
Wow. And
just like you have an orchestra, the steel pan has its own orchestra. It has the bass, the middle, all sections.
We're gonna go a little bit deeper into that later on in the program. But I mean, where does steel pans come from? I mean, you mentioned about Trinidad and Tobago, but why were steel pans made? I mean, you know, why? I mean, we'll have a look at the actual instrument later, but you know, why were they made?
The history comes from African people that were enslaved and brought to Trinidad and Tobago. They used to use the djembe drum as a form of communication. Those drums were taken away from them. They started to improvise with steel materials, bamboo sticks. They created what we call bamboo bands.
Wow.
And it literally from there progressed into the steel band through American soldiers leaving old barrel drums on the island.
Okay, now this just sounds incredible. So basically, as we know, that drums in general for black people at one stage was a form of communication, how we communicated.
Yeah.
Okay, so I caught that. And knowing as well that the steel pan, it sounds like it was kind of stumbled upon by accident, is it?
To some degree, yeah, because the drum itself was more used for a percussive sound. It progressed into a melodic sound a little bit later on, within about 3 years.
Okay, you're going to have to explain to me that mechanical melody. I don't know anything about it. So
by percussive, I mean it was drumming, it was used to create rhythms to go along with these tambu bamboo bands.
Sure.
But from all the experimenting, they started to hear notes, and slowly they were able to get a full chromatic scale into a single drum. And what I mean by that is every single note that there is, they were able to get it into a single drum.
Right. Okay, so what we're grasping, audience, is that at one stage, the pan could maybe only play one note or
one note or two notes. Yeah, they used to play nursery rhymes a lot, and they used to compete in finding new notes to complete their songs until eventually you had a full-on instrument.
So you're telling me that in a pan you can get every single note like on a piano?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Can you believe this? So, I mean, no, it sounds absolutely awesome. And as you said, like you mentioned earlier, that the pan, inside the pan is like an actual orchestra. Now, I know in an orchestra, you have like a bass, you got strings, you got wind, you got, you know what I mean? There's like a whole thing. So explain that a little bit more.
The steel pan, it has mainly 3 sections. We call it front line, the middle, and the bass section. And within all of that, it is the complete sound of an orchestra. So you have your singers, you have your background chords, you have the actual bass.
Amazing.
So it's full on, as well as you can take individual instruments and join up with other instruments. So, yeah.
Wow. And I think this is the funniest thing that I'm hearing, actually. Did you know, viewers, that you can actually play every kind of music on a steel pan? Now, we're talking about
classical, reggae, pop. Pop was actually the most popular music that they did play on the instrument originally. Popular war songs, American music. When I go to a lot of schools, we have to do pop when we go to schools.
Sure. And the funniest thing is, the little that I know about steel pan is I'm always thinking of calypso.
Of course.
You know what I mean? That's the first thing that comes to mind. Like, you know, that it automatically, you know what I mean? But to be, you know, enlightened that you can play every kind of music on a steel pan, I'm blown away with that. I really am. You know, that's absolutely awesome. Now, just tell us, you know, enlighten the viewers a little bit more just about from 12 years old, how you even just got into playing steel pan.
Well, I grew up in West London, so the Notting Hill Carnival happens there, so there are a lot of youngsters involved in steel pan. And but there's been a competition that's been going on since the 80s. It's not very publicised, but it happens in that area, and I bumped into it and fell in love. I said, Mum, that's me next year. And I've been playing ever since, basically,
Unbelievable. So you, and what was it that you missed school? Because I understand that you
toured. Right, because I spent a lot of my early years between, say, 12 and 16 in different parts of Europe, in the West Indies, Switzerland, Spain. We were always going somewhere. And it was brilliant, really fantastic childhood.
And that's what I mean, you've toured, you've done a lot of touring pretty much all your life, haven't you?
And competitions and things like that.
It's too much. It's too much. And I say that because, you know, when it comes to like missing school and stuff like that, you know, this is something, you know, that I don't know, it's from God because I'm not being funny, but you sound to me like you're living your dream.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I was at university, I actually stopped playing steel pan for nearly 4 years because I was just so engrossed in my studies. And in my last year, the lecturer made a point and he said, make money from what you know. And I sat there and I thought, I know pan, I know it so well.
And there was nothing else that you knew more than pan.
Exactly.
Okay. Wow. It sounds absolutely awesome. Well, I love the idea, as I said, that, you know, you've got your business running, your family sometimes gets involved, does a bit of driving, does a bit of this, does a bit of that, which is beautiful once again, honestly, Shareen. And the fact that, you know, I mean, I've never played a steel pan or anything like that, I must confess. Being from the Caribbean as well, I don't know how I haven't. Yeah. But yeah, I'm hoping that very shortly that we could maybe, you know, touch it and understand it. And I wouldn't mind even a little play. Is it possible we can do that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, please. We are very, very shortly going to have that opportunity. So it's really, 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 really key that you do not go away. As yeah, we're going to do live pan. Shareen's going to, you know, seed us, educate us a little bit more, and enlighten us a little bit more with some of the events that she has played at in the past. So do not go away. We'll be back shortly. God bless.
Coming up on Virtuous Woman.
One. Now your second one. Good. Now your third one. And remember, we're going to go back to our second one.
Join Maxine on Virtuous Woman every Monday at 12:30 p.m, Tuesday 7:30 p.m, and Saturday 8:30 p.m. here on Love World TV.
Welcome back to Virtuous Woman. And as usual, you never know what you're going to get on Virtuous Woman. You know, today's episode, just in case you haven't realized, is about steel pan. And today we have been discussing this with Shareen, who has been absolutely amazing and just letting us understand all about the steel pan, what it does, what it's about. And if you wasn't watching earlier, then you will still learn a lot, because I still got a lot of questions to ask about this steel pan, because it's my first time actually touching one. So it's going to be quite interesting. So Shareen, first of all, thank you so much for coming down here, bringing you some of your steel pans. I mean, realistically anyway, just very quickly while we're here, I mean, how long does it take you to normally pick up all the pans, pack them away, bring them out? I mean, how long does that normally take you on a...
If it's just we're performing at a wedding or a private function, then almost within minutes. But if I'm doing a workshop, we're looking at least an hour.
Hours?
It's a lot of setting up. You bring along like 15 instruments to school, so yeah, it's a lot of setting up.
It sounds like it. And they're quite heavy to carry. I mean, I did try carrying one earlier, and they're a good weight.
Yeah,
so.
they are.
Anyway, and so like, we've got some steel pans here. I mean, first of all, you explained to us earlier in the episode that they were a drum. I mean, how big are these drums normally?
You could imagine one of these steel pans just going straight down to the ground.
Okay.
And that is the actual size. So the width and everything that you're seeing here is the size of the old drum.
Okay, so we're kind of talking about from about waist down,
exactly,
really.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm sure that these are the same steel pans that when I'm in Jamaica, that I actually see on the beach where people cook on them, where they... It's the same ones, right?
Yeah, old barrel drums,
okay,
yeah.
old barrel. Okay, okay, interesting. All right. Now, just trying to understand from a perspective that obviously they're made out of steel. Obviously, there's a dip in
on
each
the inside,
one.
Yeah.
Now, tell me, how do they get this dip?
Well, once they're mainly handmade, once they've cut it away, depending on which one they're making, the top surface is usually quite flat. So they get a ball that they continually drop inside of it until the actual inside sinks, and we call that sinking the drum.
Sinking the drum,
yeah.
Okay. And you're saying, what kind of ball is this? What is that, a metal ball?
It's just a really big ball with weight that you can just continually drop inside of the pan, and eventually you'll get the kind of shape you're looking for.
Awesome, awesome. And as you said earlier, and as what I can see, obviously there's little different dips.
Yeah, yeah.
To give you, is this to give you little different notes?
It's to give you the individual notes. What they use tracing paper, in fact, and they trace out all of the notes onto the instrument first, and then they almost, if you like, chisel around.
Okay, are we allowed to show this?
I'll do the
Yeah,
outline with my fingers.
Yeah, because if I can just show this, because it's quite interesting what's going on inside here. More than us to just be talking about it, I need to show this. And we've got these white little stickers on there, which is basically just showing us the different notes.
Yeah, the different notes. So after these shapes have been put in, it then goes to a steel pan tuner who tunes absolutely all of the notes individually.
This is absolutely incredible. Okay, now, it might be my ignorance, and I'm sure many people may know this, but how do they know an A from an F sharp, from a B to a C? I mean, how would they be able to tune that?
Well, in the 1930s, when these were invented, the Trinidadian people did it by ear. They would know what a C sounds like, and they would hammer it until they got that sound. But now, much like how a guitar is tuned, they have a box that gives them the different tones. And they use that. And it's always best to tune it in a soundproof room and to get the exact sound that you're looking for.
Now, just also as well, we've got you've got a small little pan here, and the one here that's slightly bigger, and I've seen some of them even bigger.
Yeah.
Now, what is that about? Tell me why sometimes they're more.
So this part, we call it a skirting.
Okay.
The more you have of it, the lower the instrument. The less you have of it, the higher the instrument.
Okay, is that sound we're talking about?
Sound-wise, yeah. Okay. So this particular one here, which is a single drum, is called a tenor. They've always got the least skirting, and they are the highest sounding.
Okay, tenor, okay.
And this one here is called a double second. It's slightly lower. It accompanies the tenor with chords. And like you were saying, the ones where the skirting's really long, so long in fact they haven't cut anything away, those are basses, because you're trying to get the lowest sound.
Perfect sense. Okay, so when you're kind of with loads of steel pans, you really have got an orchestra, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely, because it's got all the ranges. Yep.
Absolutely awesome. I love it. Okay, now I also would like to understand, my last thing before you're going to hopefully teach me a little
something.
bit. I'm excited. Please excuse me. I've never played one of these before, apart from today. So I was playing, or I used, if I can just take this from you 1 minute straight, I used these sticks, and I was just about to, hit this drum, and I got into trouble. So, Shareen, can you please explain to me, why am I not allowed to use these sticks on this drum?
Well, what it is, just like I was explaining with the skirting, higher and lower, the sticks almost work in a similar fashion in that the smaller the rubber, the higher the pan.
Right.
As the rubber gets thicker, the pan gets lower. Right. The actual base rubber is a big ball.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that explains it completely, really, doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay, and is it a case that if you use a bigger or a larger rubber that you could actually change the sound?
You won't even actually, if I was to use a bass stick in a tenor pan, you wouldn't even get the sound.
Right.
So the sticks are very much accommodated to each instrument.
Pan. And that's what I mean. This all sounds quite complicated to me. You know what I mean? You just get some sticks and just hit, but it just really isn't like that, is it? Wow. Okay. Now, Shareen, if you don't mind, you're going to show me how to do this. I mean, this is
one of the basic things we tend to teach people when we're on workshops is one of the skills called rolling. So if you hold your stick for me like a bicycle, turn your stick round, keep your thumb on top, try not to hold it tight, keep it lovely and loose. You're going to do one stick after the other. I'm going to give you chords. So this is B and D. Stay close to the note. If you roll up for me.
Oh, I hope I'm going to get the...
Lovely. I'm going to give you another chord, which is going to be C and E. If you roll these two for me. Excellent. So after the count of 4, we're going to roll your first chord for 4 beats, then your second chord for 4 beats, and then we're going to stop. Okay? After the count of 4.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. And roll. 2, 3, 4. Change. 2, 3, 4. And stop. 2, 3, 4. And second one. 2. And stop. Well done. This is your third one.
Sorry. Okay, right. So, and then we're going to...
Right, good.
Okay.
So I'm going to say this to you. So you've got a first, a second, and a third. Okay. You're going to do all 3 of those. And on the 4th time, you're going to go back to your second. Okay?
Okay.
I think you can do it.
Okay.
After 4, 2, 3, 4. Your first one. Now your second one. Good. Now your third one. And remember, we're going to go back to our second one. Second one. We'll do it one more time. First one. Good. Second one. Your third one. We're going to finish on the second one. And stop. Oh, wow!
So I played a steel band. This
Imagine
is amazing.
that. For the first time, you got a good sound, didn't you?
Man.
That was a really nice sound. Well done. That was good.
Thank you. Anyway, but just more to the point as well, with these sticks. So the key thing, anyway, is to keep everything relaxed. Am I correct?
Exactly. When we hold it tight, we get a really unpleasant dance sound. Whereas if we keep it really nice and loose in our hands, the actual sound comes out. It's to do with vibration, because you're restricting it from vibrating when you hold it tight.
I'm with you. Well, I am no professional at this, obviously. And I know that, Shareen, you know, you have been doing this for absolutely years. And, you know, it's such a privilege even having you today. Now, I know that, you know, with Steel Pan, there's a lot of calypso songs out there. And I know that there's a few popular ones that you might know. Okay, let's hear it.
Okay.
Awesome. Now, Shareen, you've been playing this from 12 years old.
Yeah.
When do you get to the stage where you know that you can play this thing now? When do you know? When do you know that you're a professional, you know, Steel Pan player?
It kind of varies, because I mean, I work with and have a lot of people join to my agency who are awesome musicians. And I mean, they are professional musicians. They've worked with people like Courtney Pine, Billy Ocean.
Wow.
They've done some really amazing work. So I actually consider myself fairly mediocre in comparison to these guys.
Way.
Oh, yeah. But they're, at what point did they become professional? I almost call it like a free strike rule. Like, once you can learn the music really quickly, you can play very well. And you can also move when you're playing.
Okay. So is there some kind of routine sometimes?
Well, it's just to have a natural feel, and that, because, you know, you could play it robotically or you could put your heart and soul into it.
Okay, come on, show me a little bit of this feel, please, Shareen. Just show us a little bit here so we can learn.
At Carnival, I mean, I can't do a demonstration. I'm much too rigid, but, you know, it's good to see people jumping up and playing. And, you know, when you see certain people having a certain look behind their pan, as long as they're not what we call skating, pretending they're playing. If they are actually playing and they can really get into it, I mean, you're looking almost at a boss of pan right there.
Wow. Okay, and there's a lot of coordination, obviously, where there might be even dances of coordination.
Exactly. Swapping around instruments, walking around your pan. There's all sorts of gallery, we call it.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, I wouldn't mind seeing that one day also. Okay, so 12 years old, playing pan. What about, you know, your kids and stuff like that, your family? I mean, are your kids involved with this?
None of my family actually play the instrument, but I do classes on a Monday for children and people with special needs and adults. So my children have joined those classes, and I honestly believe that they would have just hated pan because their mum is just pan, but they're falling in love with the instrument almost equally. So I'm really excited to making them learn and get
And what
better.
about any other events that you might play pan at? What other events might you do this?
I personally, my most popular bookings are delivering workshops at schools.
Okay.
However, we're at wedding, especially in the summer season.
Lovely.
We do a lot of weddings. We do parties, birthday parties, corporate bonding sessions, and
Lovely.
it can vary between workshop and performance, just workshop. So it just
And you
depends
can
on what they
mix
want.
the two.
Exactly.
Sounds absolutely awesome. Okay. All right, we've got to have one more though, Shareen.
Okay, no
We've
problem.
got to have one more. I don't know. What have you got in mind for us this time?
Well,
And I'll let you choose.
Yeah, since we did Calypso, I thought let's change the genre a bit.
Sure.
So we'll go for some reggae.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody knows what this song is, which is No Woman, No Cry. No Woman, No Cry. Bob Marley. And the Wailers. If you are watching this program and you are a woman